Here again, and I'm going to talk about crosshatch surveys. So again, I've got the drone ready and the drone is connected to my controller. We've done a pre-flight check. Right in here, I'm going to choose the crosshatch survey, and the crosshatch is best for when I want to do a 3D model of a large area, or if I've got a complex area with lots of trees and lots of buildings. It enables me to get oblique camera angles on the side of the objects, which gives me really good coverage. We can use these later in conjunction with some of the native products and mix and match our imagery for best results.
I'm going to go into flight plans and choose crosshatch right here. And I can name it. So again, I can bring in data from my GIS. So I could bring in that entire map right there. I could actually just bring in the orthomosaic of a previous flight. So I will bring that in again just as a good footprint to use. So the big difference here in the crosshatch is that you can see the pattern that is being flown is back and forth, say much like a lawnmower. So I can bring the points out again to understand where I'm going to fly and what area I want covered. And you can see the green lines representing the path of the drone back and forth. So by default in here, the altitude is again 200 feet. And it's just a good sort of rule of thumb altitude to fly at. The gimbal angle here is 35 degrees, so that means the gimbal is going to be slightly off, so it's an oblique angle. So one of the reasons for flying a crosshatch would be if you're creating 3D point clouds or meshes, and this enables each image to be taken at an oblique angle to capture underneath objects. Otherwise, you'll end up with voids if you're flying over trees or buildings with overhangs. You'll end up with voids if you're flying just with straight nadir. So flying these crosshatch is really good for products like that. But the offset here is that obviously the drone has to travel basically twice the distance because it's going to cover it all the area in one direction, then the other direction. So this particular flight is 20 minutes. And it's 314 images. So again, just thinking that how long it's going to take to process. Whereas if we were to fly up at 400 feet, you can see now how quickly that gets done. 8 minute flight with 93 images. So you've really got to look at the workflow, what you're trying to accomplish, and plan the mission appropriately. You can also fly exactly the same mission at multiple altitudes, and then you can mix and match your images later on in Drone to Map and see how that might affect the product as having different oblique angles or different altitudes. But you can change these angles here, either just using the slider, or you can change it just typing the number in right here if you need a specific angle, or if you've flown it previously, taken the results, run the results through, and you found that you've got voids and you need to change the gimbal angle a little bit more severely, you can find that out. So if you have the batteries, I would say probably fly several missions with different gimbal angles, and then you can use those later on, especially if you're traveling to this location. And again, the hatch angle, this is more important in here than it would be in the basic survey with the nadir, because now we're looking at what buildings or what areas are we actually going to be flying. So now where the drone path goes on the green lines, thinking about what that's going to look like and what coverage you're going to get. So again, you can also do multiple flights with different hatch angles. So you might do say a 20-degree hatch angle and then a 90-degree or 79-degree hatch angle, so that you can get in and around a lot of those objects with the oblique images to process. So the same thing here. If I was going to fly this now, I was in the field, I can hit fly. It'll go to the drone check, take off and fly it. If not, I can just save my flight plan, exit out, And now in my flight plans, I have 2 in here. So it makes it very easy for me now again to go on the field,